Family Hour. We greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, and thank you so much for watching this particular episode. Today is a Thursday, and we are looking at leadership and governance. We are looking at leadership and empowerment. Now, the word empowerment is really broad in a sense. However, today, by the time we get to the top of the hour, it will have been dissected and disseminated in a way that you as a leader, you will now see whether you're lifting the people you lead or you're instead limiting them. And why is it important for a leader to empower the subordinates? That and more is what we expect in our edition today of the family. With us is Dr. Patricia, the usual culprit.
Thank you very much, Edrine, and good evening, viewers.
And we also have a new face on board, and that is none other than Martin Sabiti. He's the CEO of Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity. You're most welcome, Martin, to this program.
Thank you for having me, and good evening, viewers.
We are actually grateful that you have given in this time for the empowerment of our viewers. And it's not by default that we're even talking about leadership and empowerment. Dr. Patricia, you know I want to respect the slogan, ladies first.
But just before that, gentlemen can start. Okay. Yes, tell me.
Okay. Doctor, what is, how can you break down the word empowerment and what does it mean for a leader?
When we talk about empowerment for a leader, it's about strengthening others with skills, with tools, with knowledge, through mentorship, through modeling the way and guiding other people to rise up and become leaders. And leaders out there have that responsibility because it's only secure leaders that give power to others. So it's a call upon leaders to give power to others. Only empowered people can reach their potential. Because when a leader cannot or does not empower others, he or she creates barriers for himself also. So it is through empowering others that we as leaders also grow to our full potential. And if the barriers remain long enough, then people give up and begin looking for other jobs elsewhere. But when you empower them, when you believe in them, when you equip them, when you mentor them and coach them, then they are able to take on leadership responsibility and they are able to contribute positively towards that organization and even towards the nation. Because if you want to be successful as a leader, you have to be an empowerer. So leaders, it's a call for you to empower others in order for yourself to be successful as a leader. Only secure leaders are able to give themselves away. So in empowering others, of course, you're giving yourself away because you want them to model exactly what you are doing. And the truth is only those who are indispensable who can make themselves powerful. Because if you are indispensable, then you have to make yourself dispensable through empowering others. And if you continuously empower others, then you help them develop to a point of being capable of taking over even your job. And last time I remember, Edrine, we touched a little bit on that when we were talking about the law of connections.
Yes.
Connections. Who is who? How do you get others connected? And there is no limit to success, especially when we do not limit people as leaders. If we want to be successful, then we have to open up and teach others and train them. Being part of others' success is what happens to a leader who is successful. When someone is successful because of you, then you are also part of that success. That person's success becomes your success as a leader. As a leader, you have to be an empowerer because that other person you're empowering becomes successful and his success is your shared success. Only secure leaders are able to give themselves away. And the truth is the only way, the truth is the way you make yourself indispensable. it is to make yourself dispensable. Each time as a leader, you make yourself indispensable. You are actually making yourself dispensable. If you continuously empower others, you help them develop to a point of being able to in future take up even your job, and you become vulnerable to the organization and you become valuable to the organization. In vulnerability, there is a lot of power. There are no limits to success. We do not limit people because being part of others' success only happens when you are successful and when they are also successful. The other day I was in Bugweri for the Taresita celebrations, and I stepped out of the tent to use the facilities behind, and I met a group of senior officers, uniformed. And I just passed by and said hello, and I was continuing to walk, and one of said, hey, doctor, you are my lecturer. I got very, very impressed. And others said, well, you taught me at IU Law School, you taught me at UMI while I was doing my master's, you taught me here. I was very, very impressed because seeing my own products now as senior military officers in the UPDF brings a lot of happiness and joy in my life. So the example of Barnabas in the Bible times empowered others. He took others to another level. I can give you the example of Paul. Remember, Paul was busy persecuting Christians. Barnabas brought Paul and was able to introduce him to other apostles, saying, you know, this is now a changed man. He is a child of God. He's able to unpack the gospel and touch the lives of others. And in so doing, we see Barnabas empowering Paul. And Paul is able to rise up and do his ministry. And he's very successful in his ministry just because somebody held his hand and empowered him. So his real name, first of all, was Joseph, but he was named Barnabas, which means son of encouragement. And in Acts chapter 4, verse 36, we indeed see that he became a son of encouragement. So every leader is either a lifter or a limiter. If you limit, then you limit yourself as a leader. If you lift, then as a leader, you also lift yourself. So the call for us today is like Barnabas helped others to get higher in leadership. As leaders, let's help others to also get higher in leadership so that together we can be successful. Yes.
Thank you so much, Victor. There's something you talked about as you were concluding, that you're either a limiter or a lifter. Now we look at the role of empowerment in creating a positive work environment, because in the end, everyone would really love to be in a positive work environment, or fostering that positive work environment. Imagine, how does empowerment now support in creating or fostering that positive work environment and empowering other leaders, as Dr. had earlier talked about slightly and briefly?
Thank you very much. Empowerment in a work environment or in a group or in a team indeed creates a positive work environment. For example, it fosters stronger relationships between leaders and followers, or between the team leader and the team members, because the leader is willing to give himself away to them. So it creates stronger relationships in the organization, in the family, in the church, in whatever, where there's a leader and then he has a team of followers. And also where there's empowerment by a leader, there is high productivity levels, because people are very happy with the leader, because they see that the leader is interested in their own growth, and so they also put in the effort. They know that the leader cares about them, and so they put in more effort in order for them to produce. So you find that there's a high productivity rate in an environment where the leader is focused on empowering other people that he is leading. It also creates more innovation, because when you are empowering people to lead, You allow them to manage themselves without directly, interfering in what they are doing, but just guiding them. And so because they have that freedom and they know that their leader trusts them, so they become more innovative, they become more creative. And this eventually affects the performance of the organization and its growth. But also there's better organizational resilience because the leader has created an environment where is allowing everybody to grow. And so they enjoy, the followers or the team members enjoy the work environment, and therefore, even if there are challenges that come, the organization is able to stand because it creates resilience. The people are able to be patient, able to solve problems together. There is good communication. So the organization will be able to, because everyone looks at this as their thing. It's not the leader's job, it's not the leader's work, it's not the leader's idea, it's not the leader's thing. Everyone owns what is going on in the organization. So the leader will not be feeling the pressure where people say, let's let this one fall. It belongs to him, it doesn't matter. Me, I'm doing my job, but everyone is participating to ensure that the problem is solved. Remember, a leader who is empowering others involves them in decision making. And so they know, and there is clear communication. So whatever is going on in the organization, they know. Because they have been consulted, they have been involved, the leader has been openly communicating what's going on. So it helps the organization to be able to withstand, even if it is a family. In a family where the family leader or the husband or the man or the woman is communicating openly with the family, that family can withstand resilience because, they know everything that is going on. Even when the school fees has not yet come, they know because daddy has been telling them. Yes. So they know everything. Yeah. Yes.
Edrine, perhaps what Martin has not told you is to share the examples, because Martin is this transformative leader in UCLF, where I'm the vice president and I sit in their board of the UCLF. And I have seen him within the shortest time causing change because of the leadership example he comes with and the energy he comes with to the organization. So we see a transformation in the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity Secretariat because of the ability to project the vision and help others to own up that vision. And then the teamwork he talked about, I've seen that in his exemplary leadership in the UCLF. Not that I want to praise him. Not that I want to praise him, but I see the vivid examples right at the UCLF Secretariat and the way he involves others in decision making, the team spirit, mobilizing teams to go for legal aid and for mission and evangelism, preparing for the fellowships, the weekly fellowships. Actually, this morning he was a key facilitator at the fellowship. And indeed, as Vice President UCLF, I must say that I'm really proud of this Martin here because of his leadership abilities and commitment to steer that secretariat and organization to great heights. But leadership has got a lot of responsibility it comes with. And how do we then, I had talked about limiting or lifting. How do we lift people? Are we able to lift them ably? And as leaders, we are called to actually lift people. And the examples I was giving from Barnabas. Barnabas had interactions with Paul. He encouraged Paul. He was able to lift him. He believed in Paul before anyone else. And he didn't wait until the other apostles endorsed Paul before believing in him. He first of all believed in him. So if we believe in the people we work with, then we give them responsibility. They will not fear us, but they will work as teams. You remember that Barnabas believed in Paul While Peter and others were fearing and saying, no, this was a man persecuting people and what, but he believed in him. That means that even the people we work with, some of them are difficult. Some of them are doubting Thomases. But we have to bring out potential in them. To be an encouraging leader, we have to be willing to take chances. Personally, example, from my office, I have a file of people whom I recommend. And I must tell you that I now have 23 magistrate grade 1s I've recommended. I have 3 registrars I have recommended. And there are people whom I've been mentoring under me. We look for potential in them and encourage them to believe in themselves. To believe in themselves, much as they have other weaknesses. But when a human being believes in himself, he can do a lot to lift that organization up. It is quite risky when sometimes you support people who don't come through. Like I've burnt my fingers many times, where you pick this person, you support the person, and the person just lets you down and fails to deliver. Those examples are also there. But you realize that Barnabas endorsed Paul's leadership to others. He praised Paul. He took him and brought him to the apostles and declared to them how he was productive, how he was going on his own to Jerusalem and unpacking the gospel. And this alone helped Paul to come out, because he was able now to do his work boldly. He was able to move with confidence. He was able to move forward. And that is all unpacked in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 9, verse 27. So one best thing we can do as leaders is actually to empower leaders, and to sing other people's praises. Like now I have just been singing his praises. But I'm not praising him so that people grab him. But I would be happy if he's taken for something big, because I mean, he has the potential. We need to help people to make connections of strength, to bring out that credibility, or use my credibility to strengthen another person. And that is what I normally love to do. Barnabas empowered Paul to reach his potential. So as leaders, to be an empowering leader, we must do just more than believing in the people we are leading. We must also help them to become leaders, to bring out that potential they have in them to lead and take on key responsibilities. You must invest in them. If we are to empower them, we must invest in them to help them come out at their best as leaders. We must empower people, and empowering them by that takes a lot of personal investment and time as well. Like sometimes I have to sit and talk to people beyond 5 o'clock, or telling someone come to my office at 7, and then we just engage mentor-mentee engagement before office gets busy. It requires a lot of energy, it requires a lot of time, but it is worth the price. Because like I told you, when you see your people succeeding out, it is pride to yourself as a leader also. If you do it right, you will have the privilege of being someone moving up to a higher level, or have the privilege of witnessing the fruits of your hands rising and rising and rising. And if you are the mentor, you surely will be a proud one. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. Now, Martin, from what Doctor has just talked about, she has talked about praising you because of your style of leadership and the transformation it has caused. Now, maybe borrowing from your experiences, what are some of the strategies leaders can employ or employ in their leadership as a way of empowering others?
Thank you. Number one is delegation. A confident leader is able to delegate some of his team members to represent him more in doing some things. And I have done that also at UCF already. I've asked some of my team members to represent me where I wasn't able to attend. So delegation is important because you bring out. I'll also give you an example. One time when I used to work at the Provincial Secretariat of Church of Uganda, the PS at that time, now retired Bishop Bagamunda, was invited at a function at Green Hill Primary School. And he asked me to represent him.
Wow.
And he sent his driver and his car to drive me there. And you can't imagine how empowering that was. And I was not even a manager. I was, one of the support staff. But, that kind of thing really pulls out people that you are leading. It is very, very important. The other one is training and development. You have to train your team. You have to train your people to be able to learn new skills, new ideas. There's an interesting story that a CEO and a finance manager were having a conversation. And the CEO was saying that we need to train our staff. And the finance manager was saying, but what if we train them and they leave? And then the CEO was like, what if we don't train them and they stay? So you can imagine. So if you don't train them, they stay and the organization will not grow. She has talked about something very important, praising people and acknowledging their work. It is very, very important, acknowledging their work and even praising them publicly. I appreciate that she has praised me now, but it is a very key aspect of leadership in terms of empowering those that you are leading. You praise them publicly so that people see that when I work, when I do something here, my work is appreciated, my work is praised. So we at UCLF we have morning devotion where I give announcements, and I normally pick out people who have done well and I appreciate their work. This is very, very important and crucial, but also involve them in what you are doing. For example, many years ago I attended a conference, a church conference, and there was a pastor who came from the UK. The pastor came with his youth pastor, and he was the one facilitating the training. So he would speak and then allow his youth pastor also to continue from where he has stopped. The same exact thing that Doctor has done, to invite me as she's vice president of UCLF. I'm the CEO. She's mentoring me. She's demonstrating that, and she's empowering me. That she's inviting me to her space for me also to share my experience, to be in her space. It is very, very important for leaders to do that to some of their team members. It is so empowering. And communication also is very important. As a leader, you have to communicate. You have to be open, and you have to be transparent. Communicate everything. I believe that leadership is about three things: vision, strategy, and communication. So if you are a leader and you are not communicating, the leadership somehow you will not be able to empower people. But when you communicate, people know that our leader, you are an open book. They know what is going on. They know that leadership is about communication. They even, when you are so transparent and so open in communication, they protect you, they cover you. But when they don't know what is going on, they will also, when somebody asks, they will also say, we don't know. That one doesn't tell us. Yeah, but when they know, they will protect you even when there is something that has come up. So those are really important. And you have also to make sure that you create avenues for success. Don't create barriers. Help your team members to succeed. Help them to succeed. I'm a follower of football, and I have had, for example, a coach of Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, saying that he allowed Van Persie to go to Man U so that he can win a cup, because he realized that maybe he will not win it in his time. So do not block people. Like she has even said it now that if a bigger opportunity comes for me, she will be happy to let me.
But are you supporting Arsenal?
I am an Arsenal supporter. Yeah, so
No, I think you should support Manu and Manu and Arsenal. We don't get along.
yeah, so really, those are the key aspects that I can, for example, maybe drawing from the Bible, I can use the example of Joshua, Moses and Joshua. When there was a time to go and survey the land, Moses did not say, I want to go. No, he sent some people to go. So you can, that's delegation. You cannot be a leader who wants to do everything. You will not, when you are not there, the organization will come to a standstill. But when Joshua was sent, he came with a good report. Even the relationship between Elijah and Elisha, those kinds of things are very, very important in leadership empowerment.
Wow, thank you so much, Martin.
Yes.
Dr. Tim Manu.
I have suffered in my house with Arsenal, and I can't believe I have Arsenal here in this room. I'm seated between Arsenal. But what to do?
So, Doctor, you talked about something very important,
Yes.
where you say that you don't know how many times you burned your fingers. Probably you've recommended to someone and they have failed to perform. But also as in leadership, we look at leaders encountering very many challenges in the road of empowerment. Sometimes we empower people who are not willing to be empowered. Someone comes, they think when I get to there, they rest, they have attained their highest goal and all that. So how can a leader deal with some of these challenges they encounter in the road of, as they burn their fingers like you have?
Challenges are inevitable. And when you look at Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 and 25, actually, it says we need to spur one another towards love and good deeds. So let us continue to encourage one another, even in times of challenges. I have an example. I went for evangelism one time with the Anglican Youth Fellowship Choir, with whom I minister. And we were in this school in Western Uganda. And the girls gave their lives to Christ. And one of them came up that she wanted to give a testimony, and she was given a chance to testify. And the girl said, now that I'm following Jesus, whatever has been there between me and the gatekeeper, it's over today. And the lawyer in me came out now. Should I arrest the gatekeeper? It seems this has been something so serious. So as leaders, sometimes we encounter challenges. I went to Chebambe Girls again on a similar mission one time and picked 3 girls to support, to encourage, to pay tuition for and raise. And I got the biggest disappointment of my life. A girl performed very well in Senior 4. A girl got a place in Nyakasura. While results came, we were now ready to go for Nyakasura. I had just sent the tuition. The girl eloped. And now as I talk, the girl is a child mother carrying somebody's baby. So those disappointments are there. But going back to the ministry of Barnabas, did he give up? He didn't. Empowering leaders never stop looking for opportunities to lift others. And when you fall, do you remain down? Of course, you pick up your pieces and rise and rise and rise. He talked about training. It's another opportunity to help people rise and rise. Now, a pattern of empowerment was evident in the life of Barnabas. One, he encouraged people with needs. He particularly said, let us put these resources together so that we help the poor, the women, the children, people who lacked. And that should be evident in the life of a leader who seeks to empower others. Because in helping them, you're actually empowering them and equipping them with resources to be able to survive. He empowered people even when they experienced success. He told them, you've done well, but I think we can do better. And that is true leadership. Acknowledge the fruits of success in others. but encourage them even to go a notch higher. Like I was telling my directorates I supervise, we have achieved A, B, C, D. But I know that 2024, we can even take it a notch higher. The other time I was telling you I got a medal.
Yes.
I said, if they're saying I'm someone working, serving this government of Uganda with excellence, I think it's time for me to go a notch higher so that I can keep getting more and more medals and to glorify the name of the Lord who has enabled me to serve in such positions. Barnabas empowered people even when they had failed. He empowered them even when they had failed. So as leaders, we need to believe in people, no matter how difficult the times are or the circumstances or even the challenges we go through. We should be able to encourage people to sail above the tide, because life is about challenges. That is why even the biblical characters, Joseph went through challenges. He was sold out into slavery. If he was not sold, he wouldn't have become a governor at one point. Daniel had to go into the den of lions. He was thrown in a furnace of fire, and he went through those challenges, but he was able to sail above the tide, and God delivered him from all of them. So as leaders, we need to empower others to be able to lead. Appointment of leaders to help others lead, like Barnabas, they got elders to take charge of key responsibilities. So if, like Martin has said, delegate responsibility to others, it empowers them. The story Martin shared just encouraged me and reminded me of another example of myself. He was asked to go and represent his PS in a primary school. My PS at one point in Ministry of Works asked me to do an assignment in Soroti. And I was supposed to go by road and take 3 days. And later on I joked, I said, but PS, Soroti Flying School has aircraft. Straight away he instructed the chief flying instructor, pick Patricia from Entebbe tomorrow at 8. And a plane picked me from Entebbe airport. And I flew in a twin cabin, a twin engine to Soroti Flying School, executed the assignment and came back. Now that one empowered me. I was going to work at 7, I now started going at 6:30. And it gave me a lot of energy to even work hard. I said, if this ministry needs me, they want me and they appreciate and value me, then I should add energy in what it is I am doing. So nothing empowers an organization like an infusion of leadership when you give responsibility. I know there are already established structures in government and ministries, departments and agencies, and even NGOs and civil society have their structures. But within those structures, you can empower those managers, those supervisors, to encourage them to rise up and grow. Because encouragement helps leaders to build momentum. If you want to find someone who has momentum, he's this encouraged and empowered leader. So when we talk about empowerment, if you can learn to believe in people, if you can live a lifestyle of encouragement, you will help others achieve more, and people will always welcome your leadership wherever you go, wherever you present yourself, wherever it is you're working or serving. Yes. So I think it is very, very important.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Martin. What advice do you have to someone who is aspiring to be a leader? They are looking at some place and they're working hard to be there. What advice do you have for them as a way of preparing them to create that positive impact in the workplace, like you have? Doctor has already testified.
One of the most important things or aspects before you aspire for anything or you aspire to be a leader is the ability to lead yourself. Because the Bible also says that you can't give what you don't have. So it is important to look at yourself, reflect, and see if you actually have the value that position you are aspiring for entails. So anyone who is aspiring to be a leader must be constantly improving themselves, learning more, acquiring new skills, Even if really you are not, preparing for a job, but as part of your life, you must always focus on improving yourself, learning more skills, reading, acquiring more knowledge, reading books, reading the Bible, attending conferences, attending meetings, trying to improve yourself, such that when you get the opportunity, you are able to actually shine and show what you have in the inside of you, because many people aspire and apply and even get jobs, and when they reach there they can't perform. So it is important that you lead yourself, and it all begins in you knowing about leadership and having a vision for your life, having a strategy to achieve, because also having a vision for your life will help you to know what to focus on. The people who are clear about their vision for their lives, their jobs they don't apply for, their leadership position they don't aspire for, because they know exactly the path of their life. So they know this is a particular, there are people you have asked that, what kind of job can you do? And then they say, I can do anything. I can do anything. That is not a good answer for someone who is serious about his life. You should be knowing what exactly you want to do, what you want to become, and all that clarifies your life. And then you must have a strategy. So this is what I want to become in the next 5 years. These are the kinds of jobs that I want. So what kind of strategy do I need? Is it networking? So you choose the right people to network with that can take you to the right places. I can tell you that this job at UCLF, I did not respond to any advert, but someone I networked with recommended me when also that headhunting is part of recruitment. So someone recommended me. Someone just said, please contact this gentleman. So networking is very, very important. What kind of people are you networked with? We also see that Lot was blessed because he was networked with the Abraham. So networks, so those are some of the things. You need the strategy. You need the strategy. How do I get to what I want? How do I get to my aspirations? How do I get to my vision? How do I get to this dream? So that helps you to train, acquire the necessary skills, get the necessary information, use your time well, know where to go and when, knowing what to say and where. I have had a story that somebody failed to get a job because of what they had written on social media at some point. So those are some of the things. When you know exactly the kind of things that you're aspiring for, then you should be able to act right. You should be able to have a good strategy that will take you there. That's the advice I can give to people like that.
Thank you so much, Martin.
Yes.
Dr. Patricia, today it is unusual. We are ending prematurely, but we have to end. But how are you concluding on this particular subject?
As we conclude, Edrine, I think there are no limits to success when you do not limit others. So we need to really encourage others. And from this show today, we have basically looked at the fact that empowering leaders lift others. They lift other people even to higher levels. Leaders live a life of empowerment. So I encourage leaders out there to walk that talk, live that life of empowerment. Leaders create an environment of empowerment, like Martin Ebley has alluded to. So if you're willing to share your power, you should be able to help others and also help yourself. Because in sharing, you're strengthening yourself also as a leader. So my parting shot is that may the leaders out there be used as an instrument for empowerment, for empowering other people to also rise up in their lives Be impactful to other people as leaders. Think about someone in your life who has been instrumental in making you powerful. And think about someone around you whom you can empower and lift his hand also to a certain level. A level you'll be proud of as a leader. So since there are no limits to success, we should not limit other people. Let's encourage other people to rise and rise and rise. Thank you very much and have a blessed evening ahead.
It's a pleasure having both of you, having Sabiti Martin. It's been good interacting and sharing from your experiences. I hope to have you more and more on this panel as we move ahead every Thursday. Dr. Patricia, thank you so much for the commitment. And to you, the viewer, thank you so much for always choosing to watch Family Hour and Church of Uganda Family TV. Soul Moment will be coming next, but Family Hour continues tomorrow as we get into parenting. From the entire team, Brinko, Didmas, Norman, Mumza, and Jonan, it's a good night.